So Seek, in a nutshell, is, without going into too much detail, just a dangerous game.
The thrilling suspense film, great chase, and a pretty interesting twist.
It was really unsuspected, very minimal characters, minimal locations. Simple, but it's still really creepy and scary.
For our equipment, we used the Blackmagic Ursa Mini 4.6K, a 24mm and a 50mm lens. For our audio, we used the Rode NTG3 mixed into a Zoom H4n, and along with that, a Rode blimp. For our barn scene, we used a few flow lights and can lights. Also, behind the scenes, we used a Canon 60D, 6D, Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, and some iPhone footage that's working out pretty well.
I'm sorry, what are you putting on our dear friend here?
We're putting on Pure Pleasure, silicone-based sexy lube.
Zelda, our effects specialist, decided to use a little trick she has where she gets lube, like actual lube, and dots around the head in certain spots.
So this will stand out as sweat really well, rather than just your normal sweat, which is water-based obviously and evaporates. This is silicone-based, so it's not going anywhere.
It did smell good though, so that helped with a mounting of sweat and running and heat.
I told Jake I was so surprised. He sent me the schedule, and I thought it was just gonna be like, hey, these are the scenes we're gonna do, this is the order we're shooting them in. It was broken down, shot by shot, exactly what angle we were doing, how many takes he wanted of each angle.
We managed to pull off quite a few tricks in the film, one of which was making the field look larger than it actually is. See, when you use a longer focal length, like a 50mm, you get a more natural look for people, but you compress the frame, making your background look much closer to your actor. To make our field look larger, because it was so small, we used a wide lens to make sure that we didn't compress the framing. We used a 24mm close-up to get the opposite effect, and one wide shot from the perfect angle to really cement that feeling of vastness.
When we got to the barn scene in editing, we realized that the dialogue didn't hit the points we wanted it to, and that we ultimately ended up making the concept of a final twist a little too vague. Thankfully, we shrouded one of the characters more in shadow on set, focusing on the other, and this allowed us to replace the original dialogue we had through automated dialogue replacement, otherwise known as ADR.
Normally, this is a really bad thing that everyone avoids for risk of it sounding like an old kung fu movie, but using the Rode NTG3 and an excellent sound designer, we were able to make it work so well that I'm confident that you won't be able to tell the difference between the two recordings.
It's been stressful, right? But a good stress. The team has really just gone all in.
So much running, so much running. I was so exhausted by the end of it, but it's fun every single time.
To me, the whole point of movie making and acting is to be able to do things that you don't get to do in real life. In real life, I don't get chased by creepy mountain men through the woods. I don't get tied up and thrown in a barn. All those things that happened don't happen in real life, and I'm glad they don't, but they were really fun to do in a movie.
Take that one, take three.
It only took 3 tries.
I would do it again, and I would recommend it to friends.